Everyone has done this. You walk up to a crosswalk, you press the button, and then nothing happens. The traffic light doesn't change, cars keep flowing, and after a few seconds you press the button again. Still nothing. At some point it starts to feel like the button is fake. Like it's just there to make you feel involved while the system ignores you completely. But in most cases, that button is not broken, and it's not useless. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do, even if that design doesn't match what people expect. Most people assume the crosswalk button works like a command. You press it, the system immediately responds, traffic slows down, and the walk signal appears. That assumption feels reasonable because that's how buttons work everywhere else. You press an elevator button, and it lights up. You press a door button, and the door opens. You press a remote, and something changes. So when nothing happens at a crosswalk, it feels wrong. But traffic signals don't operate on instant response. They operate on coordination. At most busy intersections, traffic lights run on fixed timing cycles. That means the signal is already following a pre-planned sequence that balances traffic volume, speed limits, intersection layout, nearby signals, and accident risk. The system is constantly trying to keep traffic moving smoothly through the entire corridor, not just one crossing. So, when you press the crosswalk button, the system doesn't immediately change direction. Instead, it logs a request, and that request is only acted on when the current cycle reaches a point where it's safe to do so. In many cases, especially during busy hours, the pedestrian phase is already built into every cycle. So pressing the button doesn't change anything you can see. It feels like nothing happened, but your crossing was already scheduled. This is why crosswalk buttons often feel useless during the day, but suddenly seem to matter late at night. At night, traffic volumes drop and many intersections switch into demand-based operation. In that mode, cars trigger sensors, pedestrians trigger buttons, and nothing happens unless someone asks for it. Now the button actually does something noticeable. You press it, and the system creates a pedestrian phase that otherwise wouldn't exist. Same button, same hardware, different operating mode. Another reason the button feels fake is because it doesn't always affect when the light changes. It affects what happens when it does. In many intersections, pressing the button extends the walk time, activates audible signals, enables accessibility features, or slightly changes the crossing pattern. None of that is obvious to someone standing there watching traffic. From the outside, it looks like nothing changed. But from the system's perspective, the button absolutely mattered. There's also a safety reason the button doesn't instantly override traffic flow. Sudden signal changes are dangerous. If a green light suddenly turns red, drivers slam brakes, rear-end collisions spike, and pedestrians are put at risk. Traffic systems prioritize predictability over responsiveness. A predictable system may feel slow, but it prevents accidents. An instantly responsive system would feel better for pedestrians and be far more dangerous for everyone. So engineers design delay on purpose. This leads to one of the most misunderstood parts of crosswalk buttons. They are not there to give pedestrians control. They are there to make sure pedestrians are accounted for. The system isn't asking, "Did someone press the button?" It's asking, "Is there a pedestrian request that must be served safely within the current constraints?" That difference matters. In some cities, especially busy downtown areas, the pedestrian phase runs every cycle whether anyone presses the button or not. The button still exists because it activates accessibility features, meets legal requirements, reassures pedestrians, and prevents confusion. Ironically, removing the button often causes more frustration than leaving it. People expect a button, and when they don't see one, they assume the system is broken. There's also a legal layer most people never think about. Crosswalk infrastructure must meet accessibility standards, including tactile buttons and audible signals. Even if timing is fixed, the button may be required to exist. From a city's perspective, keeping the button is simpler than redesigning the entire system. Another factor is coordination between intersections. Traffic lights don't operate alone. They're synchronized along corridors to reduce congestion, improve fuel efficiency, and prevent stop-and-go waves. If one intersection suddenly changes out of sequence, it disrupts everything downstream. So the system resists immediate changes. Your button press gets cued, not executed. This is why some crosswalk buttons appear to do absolutely nothing, even though they are powered, wired, and working. They're constrained by higher-level rules. They're not ignored, they're deferred. There's also a psychological component engineers are very aware of. People behave differently when they feel involved. Studies show pedestrians are more likely to wait patiently after pressing a button, even if the timing doesn't change. The presence of the button reduces risky crossings, so the button serves a behavioral purpose as well as a technical one. One reason this frustrates people is because we assume systems are built for individual fairness. Traffic systems are built for collective safety. They don't optimize for you, they optimize for everyone. And that means individual actions often feel powerless inside the system. Not all crosswalk buttons are the same. Some truly do nothing during certain hours. Some always register requests. Some only activate accessibility features. That inconsistency fuels the myth that all buttons are fake. In reality, they're just constrained. So when you press the button and nothing happens, what's really happening is this. The system already knows you're there, or it has logged your request, or it can't safely act yet. None of that is visible to you. Crosswalk buttons aren't broken, they aren't lies, and they aren't there to give you control. They exist to ensure that when it is safe to cross, the system knows you exist. They're part of a safety-first design that prioritizes predictability over speed. And while that can feel frustrating in the moment, it's the reason intersections work as well as they do.